Hello everyone, it's lovely to see you. Do you remember this term we're finding out all about how God saves us? And so far we've looked at lots of ways that God has saved us, haven't we? We've heard how God saved Noah from the flood. We've heard how God saved Joseph from prison. And we've heard how God saved Moses from a bad king. Last week, we heard how God saved all of his special people. God just keeps saving people. Today, I'm going to tell you another true story all about how God saved. This is a true story from the Bible. God saved a boy called David from an enormous giant. Now, when I do the sign, enormous, I want you to do this with me. Enormous. Should we practice that now? Enormous. Let's see how God saved David. David was a shepherd. David looked after sheep, just like these two here. David's big brothers were soldiers in King Saul's army. David's brothers were fighting. They were warriors like this one here, and they were fighting the Philistines, who were God's enemies. One day, David's father sent David to take some food to David's brothers, who were warriors in the army. So David took some cheese and some bread to the warriors, David's brothers, in the army. When David got to the camp, David saw his brothers and all the other soldiers. Everyone was very frightened. Let's practice our frightened faces together. They were very frightened. "What's wrong?" asked David. "Are you frightened of the Philistines?" "We're very frightened," said David's brothers. Now, do you remember our actions for enormous? That's it, put your arms in the air. Now, David's brothers were frightened because Goliath was a giant. Goliath was enormous. Goliath was the most enormous giant in the whole Philistine army. Goliath was enormous. Every day, Goliath walked up to the battlefield 8 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Goliath shouted, "Send someone to come and fight me." But no one wanted to. Everyone was frightened. But David, the shepherd who looked after sheep, wasn't scared. David told King Saul, "I'll fight Goliath for you. I'm not scared." King Saul was amazed. He said to David, You'll fight Goliath, but you're just a shepherd. You just look after sheep." But David wasn't scared. David said, "I'm not scared because God will save me. God will save me." David picked up 5 stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, David's stones were a lot bigger than my stones. David picked up a stone, whirled it in the air, and threw it at Goliath. The stone flew through the air, and bang! The stone hit Goliath right in the head. Goliath fell down with a big thump. When the Philistine army saw this, they were frightened. They were terrified. David had beaten Goliath. The whole army ran away. All King Saul's army cheered. Yay! God saved David from the enormous giant Goliath. God can save us too. Let's pray together and let's do our actions for our prayer. P-R-A-Y, pray. Dear God, thank you that you saved David from the enormous giant Goliath. Thank you that you can save us too. Amen. We're now going to do our craft with Laura, so I'll hand over to Laura now.
Hi guys, hope that you're well and hope that you enjoyed today's story. We're going to be making something today to remind us and help us remember the story of David and how God saved David. So you're going to need a few things today. We're going to need some glue and some scissors and also some sticky tape or other tape that you've got. We need some string, or if you don't have any string, it could be some ribbon or something like that. We're going to need some colouring pencils or felt tips. The best thing, if you've got it, would be a bit of brown paper. Only need a little bit. If you don't have any of that, you can use some white paper and just colour it in brown. And we just need a little bit of normal white paper as well. So what we're going to be making is David's pouch that the rocks were in that he threw to defeat Goliath. So what we need to do is take our piece of brown paper, we're going to fold it in half. So you might want a grown-up to do this for you. And then just make sure it's nice and square. So grown-ups, just trim the edges so that they line up if it's a bit skew with, or if you've been using a scrap piece like I have. So you should now have, this is going to be our pouch. And what we need to do is glue down the sides and stick it together. So the fold is going to go at the bottom. We're going to put some glue down either side, fold it up and stick the sides together. Oops. And this is going to be our pouch for our rocks. So now what you should be able to do is open the top and you've made like a little paper bag, like a little pouch. Next, what we need to do is get our string, and we're going to make a string that's going to go round so we can wear our pouch or carry our pouch. So we're going to cut some string. I've already got some cut here. And using our sticky tape, we are just going to stick it like that on our pouch and stick the two ends so that we've got a nice bit of string to carry our pouch. And you might need to get a grown-up to help you do this bit. Be careful when you're using the scissors. So we're just going to stick both ends onto one side of the pouch, one like that, and the next one. So it looks like that. And we've now got our pouch that we can carry. So what else do we need? Well, we need to make the rocks that David used. So on our piece of paper, we're going to take a grey pencil, or it could be a brown pencil, or even black, and we're going to draw 3 rocks. Now, don't colour them in all the way to the middle. So if you want, you can do a bit of colouring around the edge, but don't colour in the middle because we're going to write something there. So best probably to just draw the circle and then imagine the colour on the inside. So I've got my 3 there. I'm going to cut them out. And then on our rocks, we are going to write some words to help us remember what happened in the story. What happened was God used the rocks and saved David. So we need 3 rocks. You can do more rocks if you want, but we only need 3 to write our words on. And then choose a different colour. And with a different colour, we are going to write on each rock. First rock we're going to write God. That. Second rock we're going to write saved. That. And the third rock we're going to write David. So when we put them together, it says God saved David. And then what we can do, and you can make more if you like, open up our little pouch, put our 3 rocks inside, and now we've got a pouch to help remind us of the story and remind us, tip them out, that God saved David on our pebbles, on our rocks. I hope that you enjoy doing that activity today, and I hope that it will remind you of the story and remind you of how God saved David. And I will see you next time for another craft. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I really hope you enjoyed the craft. I'd love to see some pictures, so do send them over. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.